Patient 221 entered the asylum with an already fragile state of mental health. Placed in the care of the institution, he soon found himself subjected to a form of torment that defied all ethical boundaries. As the days turned into weeks and months, patient 221 was deliberately deprived of sustenance. His meals became meager, irregular, and ultimately non-existent. Starvation, a slow and painful ordeal, began to take its toll on his physical and mental well-being. Emaciated and weak, his suffering became a hidden secret within the asylum's walls, concealed by those who should have provided care and compassion. Instead, he withered away, his body succumbing to the ravages of hunger and despair. When his body-fragile existence finally came to an end, the asylum's staff, determined to hide their cruelty, disposed of his lifeless body in the darkest recesses of the institution. His final resting place was unknown. Patient 221's physical appearance, because of the cruel and prolonged starvation he endured within the Region State Asylum, was a harrowing testament to the extent of his suffering. His once average build had washed away into a skeletal figure. The sharp angles of his bones protruded through the pallid skin, creating a haunting and unnatural silhouette. Patient 221's body had become alarmingly thin, with the outlines of his ribs and vertebrae clearly visible beneath the stretched, papery skin. His limbs had lost their muscle mass, leaving them frail and fragile. The prolonged malnutrition had taken a toll on his facial features. His cheeks were sunken, and his eyes appeared hollow, surrounded by dark circles. His cheekbones and jawline stood out starkly, giving him a hauntingly gaunt and ghostly appearance. Dehydration had further exacerbated his physical deterioration. His skin, once smooth and healthy, had become dry and papery. Wrinkles and fine lines etched deep into his complexion, and the pallor of his skin indicated a severe lack of proper hydration. His body bore signs of extreme weakness and fatigue. His movements would have been slow and unsteady, and his overall demeanor would have reflected the profound physical and mental toll of starvation. Patient 221's appearance was a tragic reflection of the inhumane treatment he endured within the asylum's walls. The deliberate and prolonged starvation he suffered had left an indelible mark on his physical form, serving as a painful reminder of the depths of cruelty and neglect that occurred within the institution. In rooms, there were no safety within the grim history of the region. State Asylum lies a series of treatment rooms that belie their name. Instead of healing and care, these rooms became chambers of torment and suffering. In the treatment rooms of torture, we venture into the darkest corners of the asylum, where patients were subjected to unspeakable cruelties under the guise of treatment. These rooms, often dimly lit and filled with the haunting echoes of pain, were the backdrop for a range of gruesome practices. Patients endured physical and psychological torture, their cries for mercy falling on deaf ears. The narrative explores the chilling details of the methods employed, from electroshock therapy to hydrotherapy, lobotomies, and more. The treatment of the patients confronts the chilling legacy of unchecked power and the harrowing consequences of inhumane treatment. This narrative serves as a stark reminder of the importance of ethical oversight, compassion, and the protection of the rights and well-being of all individuals, especially those at their most vulnerable. The presence of bloodstains on the walls and signs of torture within the Region State Asylum paints a macabre and disturbing picture of the horrors that unfolded within its walls. Alongside these haunting signs, the etched drawings on the wall serve as a chilling testament to the patients' desperate attempts to express their suffering during moments of torment. The bloodstains, stark and visceral against the asylum's walls, are a grim reminder of the physical brutality that patients endured. These stains tell a silent but harrowing story of pain and violence inflicted upon vulnerable individuals. The signs of torture, whether in the form of restraints, implements, or other ominous indicators, bear witness to the deliberate infliction of suffering. Such signs are a horrifying testament to the cruelty that some patients faced within the asylum treatment rooms. The etched drawings on the walls are poignant expressions of the patient's anguish and despair,